What's up, everybody? TJ, BHC Lead P here. I'm a pastor in Wyoming that makes videos about the Bibles, the spiritual life, and the everyday life of a pastor. And one of my goals is to have a copy of every English translation of the Bible in my office, in my personal library. So, spent some time acquiring Bibles this year. A lot of them are the CSB translation, which is the Christian Standard Bible, and now we're branching out into other translations. So let's talk about what we picked up this week. Let's get into the video. Alright, so first things first. Last Thursday, just kind of killing some time, and we went into the Christian bookstore. So I'm looking for the CSB Study Bible. It's an amazing study Bible with a ton of content in it. And we'll talk about a study Bible I picked up anyways. And so we went to the Christian bookstore and I was looking for that. I was also curious if they had the ESV study Bible just to kind of price some stuff out and look at what I'm going to spend. So I do have, just a spoiler alert, I have copies of the ESV and the NASB in my office, but they're both personal size and they're really small. So I wanted a full-size ESV and I want a full-size NASB. So the qualifications to be a English translation that I'm looking to put in my library is a full-size readable Bible. One of the ones that I've been looking at this year and really kind of trying to debate, do I want to go for the more expensive version or do I want to go for a cheaper, less expensive version of it? And I decided to go with the cheaper version because it was on sale and I found it. It's the Net Bible. If you're not familiar with the Net Bible, it's a new English translation. It is the newest English translation of the Bible. It's faithful to the text. And one of the things, the one I was debating getting was the full notes version of the NET or the Net translation. They did a lot of stuff on the internet, which is part of, I love the name. I love the acronym that they gave it, Net Bible, New English Translation. They did a lot of stuff on the internet. Their translation notes are very transparent, very authentic, and I really like that. And so we're going to take a look at this Bible. This Bible cost me $22 plus tax. Really nice. It's produced and printed by Thomas Nelson. It's a black leather soft, and so we'll get into this one. Then after that, I was like, man, I really want to dig into a really, really nice study Bible. So I have some in my office. I have some in my library, and I'm pointing over here because I have a bookshelf with Bibles on it. That's where these ones will go. A lot of times now I've been working from home, and so it's nice just to have the materials that I'm going to use here. One of those study Bibles, and we've talked about it here on the channel, is one of my favorite study Bibles, which is the He Reads Truth study Bible. Here's the thing with the He Reads Truth and She Reads Truth. As you look at it, it's very devotional based in what they give you. Like, they do give you maps and timelines, and there's a lot of really good stuff in the He Reads Truth and She Reads Truth study Bibles. But I kind of want something that goes deeper theologically. So we went to Hobby Lobby to look at Christmas stuff because, yes, we are one of those crazy families that decorates before Thanksgiving sometimes. It just depends. And I wanted to go look at their Bible section because sometimes they have some cool stuff. And I found the ESV Study Bible in the personal size. So for my CSB Study Bible, I really want a full size. But for this ESV Study Bible, to get the full size ESV Bible inside of my library for a really, really good price. So the tag, right? Obviously, this isn't necessarily the true price, but it says $64.99, and I got this Bible for $30. So I was really happy to get it. It's produced by Crossway. It's a True Tone brown. True Tone is their leather soft. So let's dig into these two Bibles and what you're getting if you pick them up. For me, I'm really excited because I have two new full-size Bibles in translations that I don't yet have in my office, and I'm super excited to continue this journey of getting every English translation of the Bible inside my office. Okay, so first things first, we're going to start with the first Bible that I bought for the week, and that's the Net translation, or the NET. So it comes in this really nice little two-piece box, folds open. There's the receipt. Keep that stuff just in case. And it is, almost dropped the box there. Move that right there. So it's a leather soft. It's actually really nice. It feels really good. They did some edge lining on it to make it nice. It's a paste down liner. You have your dedication page right here. And this is the thin line version, so it's not like super big. It doesn't have a ton of stuff. But one of the things that I love about the Net translation is right here you can see, so they show the Bible translation team, which most Bibles I feel should do that. Introduction to the New English Translation, the abbreviations they use. There's a reading plan in the back. And then there's pages that show the features. So, just some cool little extra information there. The text is let me flip this box over. I believe it's a 7.4 comfort print. It's an 8, just over an 8-point print size in Thomas Nelson's comfort print. So that's what you get. I mean, really, there's not a ton. It's a thin line Bible. There's some footnotes down here. Not a ton of cross references. Really, like what I would get this specific one for is it like just to read through the translation, to kind of pick it up, to check it out. And I'm really excited to have it in my office. There are some areas in these footnotes where they indicate why they translated the way they translated, which is really cool. I do think it's important for Bible translators to explain why they did the things that they did, why they made the decisions that they made, and that's part of the hard part for some of the hard part for me with other translations is that they don't really explain that. Some of that just could be the time. So you get the 8 3/4 comfort print type size. You get a beautiful true tone, a leather soft cover. You get it's a really comfortable 8-point font. You get 2 ribbons. I wish I could tell you I feel like they're satin, they're double-sided. I feel like they're edge cut. I'm not a Bible reviewer, right? This is just kind of stuff that I get and like. So it's super nice. Paper quality is okay. It is line matched, and there's full color maps in the back. So they are all on like a glossy kind of cardstock paper, which I never really understand why like people don't love like that. But for me, I could do with or without the Bible maps in the back. I don't go to the back of my Bibles when I'm reading through them to check those maps out. So for me, I could give or take them. For probably in this specific translation, I would like, because they have the full notes text box that they put out, I would like more translator notes in the back and then take out some of those maps would be my thing. But you do have a condensed set of translator notes, but you can also visit netbible.org for free access to all 60,000 translator notes and what they did. Overall, really nice Bible. I'm excited to kind of dig into it. I love this little mark. So they kind of have a New English Translation, right? The Net, they kind of have that thought bubble, which is really cool. Thomas Nelson brought that into the cover, and I just think it's a really nice Bible. On the spine, you just have Holy Bible, Net, Thomas Nelson. I like a really simple cover. I'm not a big fan of covers with big designs on them or like big, like almost gaudy Holy Bible written on the front. I really like something simple, sleek, and I think this does that really well. The next Bible we got, we'll just slide on in here, is the ESV Study Bible. So there are other great study Bibles. I recently watched a video on the CSB Study Bible, which is what made me really want that one. Plus, we preach out of the CSB, so I would like to study out of the same translation just to make it easier. But listen, there's not that much difference between the ESV and CSB. Both great translations. Sorry about that camera bump. So you get a two-sided box. It's kind of like, it's glossy. It's in decent shape. It's a decent box. So oddly enough, when I picked mine up from Hobby Lobby, there was dust on the box. So it had sat there for a while. I don't know why more people aren't picking up this Bible from there. It's a great price. But yeah, I'm glad that I got one, okay? So one of the amazing things with this Bible, and if you flip the box over, you have a lot of information, okay? So there's more than 2 million words with 20,000 notes and other resources, 80,000 cross-references, and an extensive concordance, 200 full-color maps printed alongside the ESV text and notes throughout the Bible, which we are going to talk about that because that's one of my favorite features of this Bible, of this specific study Bible. 40 illustrations, including full-color renderings and architectural diagrams, 200-plus charts providing concise summaries and key insights, 50-plus articles on essential topics of theology, ethics, and Bible teaching. Talks about The ESV as a translation, it talks about all the copies that they have sold, and then gives you kind of a breakdown of what the pages look like. Now remember, this is the ESV Study Bible personal size, so it's not as big as other study Bibles that you will see, like the CSB Study Bible is. I will be getting that one in the full size, or even if you look at my CSB Everyday Study Bible, which is not the full ESV Study Bible that I want, but this is the first CSB that I got. It's special to me. I have a video about it, I believe. If I do, I'll post it. But like this, so it's a little bigger, a little more full size. But what you have with the ESV Study Bible personal size, and the crazy thing is, even in the full size, it is a thick Bible, which is a good thing because you're chock full of a ton of biblical insight. So this is their True Tone leather touch. So it's a synthetic leather. They have some edge lining. It's a paste down liner with synthetic end pages. Okay, you have. I'll touch on this before we get into that. You have a really nice gold art guild on it. That looks really nice. And just basic white under gold, but really nice art guild right there. Looks super sleek on a very inexpensive Bible. You have a couple end sheets here as you lead in. So what I use these for a lot, the front sheets or the back end sheets, are things like a Bible tracker. So to track the amount that I'm reading, the books that I've read, you can put notes in there, stuff like that. You have your ESV Study Bible title page. ESV Study Bible. You have the copyright information. This is using the 2016 text edition of the ESV. And then, look at that table of contents. It is chocked full of stuff. So one of the things, so you have illustrations, you have abbreviations, an introduction, a user's guide to the ESV Study Bible, kind of what they're looking for you to do with it, who the contributors are, which I think is really, really cool that they have that in here. Preface to the ESV, which, again, the preface to the translation in and of itself, the CSB does that. A lot of translations do that. It's one of my favorite things. Then you have the Old Testament. In between the Old Testament, you have background of the New Testament, the time between the Testaments, Jewish and Roman rulers, intertestamental events timeline, all super cool information on what's going on between the Old and New Testament to create what we get in the New Testament. Then you have the New Testament, and then even when you go to that, you have the theology, New Testament timeline, the date of Jesus' crucifixion, reading the Gospels and Acts, and really everything that you can think of. And then you have your articles and your resources, and there's so many. So many. And then you have the illustrations that they use, so on and so forth. Introduction, preface, introduction to the Pentateuch. And so this is what's cool, okay? So each book of the Bible, and we'll start here in, actually, you know what? We'll start here in Genesis. So each book of the Bible has an introduction to that book of the Bible, okay? It goes over, it's a new Bible, so the gilt is kind of sticking together. Let's see if we can, there we go. So an introduction to Genesis, who the author is, the title, the date that it's believed that it was written, all of that kind of stuff, and it gives a huge listing. And it doesn't just tell you who, but it tells you why they think, which is really cool. Helps, especially as you're digging in. Place in the Pentateuch, arrangement of the book. Then it gives you the generations that are in here, the theme, the key themes, history of salvation summary, Genesis and history, Genesis and science, reading Genesis and the 21st century. I mean, so this is just the first book of the Bible, in Genesis. This is your introduction. It gives you maps to kind of show, like in the introduction, this is kind of the area that you're dealing with at this point in time. And then you go right into the book, okay? The book of the Bible. You have so the introductions are just amazing in every single book. We're starting a series on Jonah, and I'm using this to kind of go through as I go alongside my CSB verse by verse, and kind of getting stuff out of it. So then you have there's only 2 verses on this page. So this is so it goes text. You have your cross references up here, and they'll always be up in this top left and right corners of the page. They have a cross-reference section. There are no wide margins. This is all just, this is a big fat study Bible. So then you have like in the introductions, it'll tell you about a section. So this will tell you what section you're in, and then you have your footnotes or your study materials down there. You'll have footnotes under the text, right above the breakdowns of the scripture, the study material down here. You'll have little footnotes, so you get text, footnotes, like the reason and what they're saying in the translation. This is all your study material, and then your references. So there's a ton of information on each page. And then within, like as you go throughout each book, you have like full color maps right alongside. So remember earlier with the net, I said I could go without Bible maps. If the Bible maps are right here on the page, right around where we're talking about that area. So if they're like this, I'm invested. I love it. It's when they're the ones in the back. So right here, I can read the text. I can go through. I can kind of look at where it's at. But when they're in the back, I just don't jump back and forth. So overall, like just the little time that I've spent in this Bible so far, I absolutely love it. The pages are decent. I mean, I'm not looking for a crazy good quality Bible paper when I'm spending so little. As well as like this isn't my main everyday what I'm doing, right? This is just a tool that I'm using alongside my preaching Bible to get through and get information. So it's really awesome, really enjoy it. They have different charts that go through and explain different things as you're studying. Again, you see the introductions, the maps. Actually, oddly enough, this is in Jonah where we're at. No, I have not highlighted. I have read the whole book and kind of gone over the footnotes and stuff. This is what I'm talking about. So when Jonah, boom, we look, we see the city, we go through all that, and I think that's really cool. So really awesome Bible to add. When you get to the back, here's all your like biblical overviews, all those extra articles that it talked about in the table of contents. And then you get to the very back, and you have your Bible map. So this is where I said, like, I never really understood why people complain about the glossy ones, but these Bible maps are printed on Bible paper. And I really, really like them on Bible paper. I just think it adds like an extra quality and a feel. So, I added the ESV Study Bible. Oh, and just for ribbon's sake, yes, I haven't undone the ribbon. I didn't want to do it. This is my reminder to do the video. So, for ribbon's sake, you get one ribbon. It matches. It's okay. I would probably add more ribbons to it. Because even in my CSB verse by verse, I use almost every ribbon. So I added these two Bibles to my library. So just inside of my house right now, not including the ones I have in my office, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 11, 12, 13 Bibles in this house. 14 if you include the immerse stuff. 15 if you include... or really 16 if you include Bible notebooks. So I love Bibles. I've really fallen in love with the Word this year and different things that you can do and different tools that you can use. So excited to have picked up the Thin Line NET translation, to have this in there, and to pick up the ESV Study Bible. When, not if I get my CSB Study Bible, but when I get it, we will definitely talk about that one as well. So first off, I want to apologize. I've been really slow with the content coming out from my channel. I've really been working on our church's content. That page is Beacon Hill Cheyenne. You can go search it up. Try to put a link down in the description for that channel. We do midweek recaps and some drink talks. So you get little Cliff Notes versions of what we preached on Sunday morning, and you get just a little fun talk together every Friday. And then we have updates and stuff that are going out on Instagram and stuff like that. So the other thing is, I know that there are people that are like, you have to use this translation or you have to use that translation. I get it. I understand. I get the King James thing. I grew up King James only. Here's what I'm going to tell you, and here's where I stand. Okay? You need to pick a Bible that you are going to read. When I was trying everything to stick to the King James, I kept trying to find a Bible that I would read daily, that I would want to get in, that I would enjoy being in. And that can happen in a couple different ways. One, you can love the translation. Now, if your main source of a Bible is a paraphrase, grab yourself a actual full Bible translation that's going and faithful to the text. That's very, very, very important. Man, I can tell you what, I love the smell of new Bible. Sorry, I'm like waving it around and smelling it. Can't you just see how nice that looks? It looks great. Anyways, so grab yourself a Bible translation that's faithful to the text. Do your research, do all that kind of stuff. I highly encourage that. But then find one that you're going to want to be in. When I picked up the CSB at the beginning of this year, the beginning of 2022, I really did it just to find out what the hype was. I'd heard about it from a community pastor, a dear friend of mine, and that he went to a church and spoke, and that's what they used. And so I always wanted to check it out, but I never bought it because we were never going to do anything with it. And so I didn't want all these Bibles, and this was obviously before now. Now I want all the Bibles and all the translations I can get just to look at the differences. Can I tell you, as I look through them, there's not a ton. But anyway, so as I was trying to stick KJV, I just wouldn't read my Bible. The beginning of this year, we went Modern English Version, and I loved it, but I didn't have this like desire to be in it all day. So when I picked up the CSB and I started reading through it and I started studying it, I spent a lot of time in this specific Bible. I know you're like, it hasn't even been a year. Yeah, I decided to go with some other stuff and some stuff for study, and then I was going to have multiple different Bibles that I used, and then I decided to land on one and then use my study Bibles as a way to study for sermons and stuff like that. So this is the Everyday Study Bible. When I picked this Bible up, this was my first CSB translation that I picked up. I fell in love with reading this text. Not because it's easier and I've compromised. No, because it's easy to read, it's easy to understand, and it's faithful to the original text. So my advice, my thing to you is, if you love the Net translation, read the Net translation. Don't care what anybody else says. Pick the translation that is best for you, that you will be in every day. Because, listen, I love the saying, the best Bible for you is the one that you will read. If you love the ESV, pick it up, read it. And I would encourage you, pick up one of these ESV study Bibles and dig into it if you're into the ESV. You don't have to have a study Bible, but it does help to dig in a little more. But get started, pick up a Bible, read a translation, dig into the Word, and I promise you, it'll help. No matter what translation it is. Just make sure it's faithful to the text. Hey, thanks for watching. If you like this video, like and subscribe. Drop in the comments, what is your favorite Bible translation to read? What is your favorite one to dig into? And within that translation, what is your favorite text blocks to read from? Is it an Everyday Study Bible? Is it the He Reads, She Reads Truth? Is it just a thin line with cross references? Is it a full-on thick boy study Bible? What is your favorite Bible? And are you someone who likes multiple translations? I'd love to have that conversation with you in the comments below. So like, subscribe. We'll talk to you later. As always, be blessed. And remember that Jesus loves you.